in the interest of convincing yourself that this was a blessing from God. Because if it is a blessing from God, then now you have tried to make him an accomplice to your crime. And you think somehow that by saying, I'm going to pray about it, that there's something noble in the gesture. And there isn't. What you should do is contact the lady who owns the purse, give her purse back and her cash, and show that you trust the Lord to deliver you from whatever your circumstances may be. Any difficulty in doing this is only the result of carnality in your flesh. Your unwillingness to believe that God will deliver you from your troubles. When you give it back, does that mean that you're going to get $5,000 by tomorrow? No. Does it mean that that woman might not be so grateful? She might be so grateful that she may give you the $5,000. That's possible. There's any number of scenarios. But the Bible makes it clear what we are to do in this situation. So therefore, there is nothing for you to pray about. And it's these kinds of situations where people are always like, well, I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to pray about it. And some people succumb. I'm sure most people do. They succumb, give in, and they take the money and run. They do. And then after the fact, begin to rationalize, convincing themselves that it was what God wanted to have happen. There could be no other answer but that this was from God. Now, you have a boyfriend. No, take that back. You have a husband or a wife. You have a husband or a wife. You have a spouse. The relationship is not going so well. It's not going so well. You're fighting because somebody's not making enough money. You're fighting because the other person is not helping around the house. You're fighting because you don't know how to deal with an unruly child. You're fighting because your sex life is in the toilet. There's any number of reasons why couples fight. So then you go out one night and you're hanging out somewhere, probably where you should not be. And then you meet somebody and you sit down. Maybe you're at a bar and you're having a glass of whiskey or a glass of wine and you're chatting up somebody else and you guys are having this great conversation, somebody of the opposite sex. These days, maybe even the same sex. Anything goes these days. You find yourself enjoying the company of this other person. And as you get into this conversation, the person that you're talking to is describing to you the same type of circumstances that you want to talk about. So then you start going like, oh my gosh, it must be meant for us to be here. It was meant to be. We're both sharing the same problems. You're saying my husband is da-da-da-da.